every season, every new season is a new opportunity for all of us. So we want to get going on the right foot and just have the right approach, especially early on.
Big year for Jamal. Big year. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets season preview series. We're talking Jamal Murray. It really all comes down to Jamal. Don't you think? It
kind of does.
It kind of all comes down to Jamal.
The man of the hour.
The man of the hour, the man of the season. Is it the year? Is it the year of Jamal? Absolutely a reminder year for him. As we preview it, why don't we look back at how we previewed his season last year?
Oh, no.
Last year's big question, what would it look like for Jamal Murray to make a leap? The truth is, I don't know that we know the answer to that. Which is why this year's big question is he capable of being great for an entire season? That, to me, Dev, kind of tells the story that we went from that question to this question. It tells
We're going backwards.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to answer the question of is he capable? Yes. And I think that this is the perfect opportunity for him to prove that. I think that last year he came off of a year, and he also came off of these playoff runs where he was invincible, and he felt that he was one of the untouchables, and he kind of got brought to earth this last year. This was a year of, I feel, self-reflection and noticing that he can bleed the same as everyone else. So I think that this is now an opportunity where he says, hey, now I have to dig deep. Now I'm in the spot of I have to prove myself and remind everybody. He really is Mr. Reminder this year, where I have to show you guys that this is truly who I am. So I think this is exciting from his standpoint of I am who I have always been, and then also everyone else of, hey, maybe those were lucky years. So I think that he is capable, and this is going to be the year to prove it.
Yeah. Maybe the answer to this year's big question is what last year's big question was. Like, can he take a leap? Yeah, it's if he can do it for the whole season.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a leap.
I think it is, man. And I got to say, Vote, I've been watching a lot of tape lately, getting ready for the season.
Grinding.
Grinding over here. He really looks good when he's healthy, when he's playing. Like, he had a better year and a more efficient year last year than people remember.
That's the thing.
It was the inconsistency, and then, of course, was coming back at the end of the year, and in the playoffs he wasn't. But I feel like it's almost disguised that it's right there for him.
Well, that's the funny thing about last year's big question. I think we were closer to seeing it than we realized health got in the way. Now, the big question there is Jamal doing everything he can to mitigate lower body injuries that their mere existence, not necessarily his fault, but what are you doing as a professional to make sure your conditioning's top shape? Because yes, Jamal is capable of this, and this is the source of frustration, the cold, hard truth for a player capable of excellence who's done it on the biggest stage. He has not done it for a full season yet. That is where the criticism comes from. It's not what Murray's capable of. It's what Murray has yet to do. And I do think he is more comfortable in this. Not going to say it. I'm not going to say the H word. I'm going to say he is more capable in a reminder mode.
Like a hunter.
Yeah, like a hunter. Okay. Like one. But reminder season, I think Dev hit the nail on the head. Maybe this is a criticism in and of itself, but I think Murray is more comfortable in this spot right here. He's got to remind us. I think he will.
I think he will too, man. I said this over the summer. I think Jamal's going to have a great year. I really do. And I want to look at one shocking stat here that I think paints a little bit of a picture here. And that is, did you know that Jamal Murray ranks third in the NBA in most step-back jumpers in the NBA?
I did not know that, no.
That's field goal attempts per 100. He takes 8.2 step-back shots, and he's super efficient on them. Yeah. He is the most efficient Nugget, one of the most efficient players in the entire NBA at taking them. It's underrated because we think of the step-back. Luka and Shea, it's like ball in his hands, 20 dribbles, sidestep, or what have you. But Jamal's mid-range game and the way he works that pick and roll, he gets to that sidestep fall away. At practice the other day in the scrimmage, we saw him hit 2 of those in a row.
Those are vintage. That's the classic Murray bucket.
So I thought that number was kind of revealing.
I mean, that's his game, you know?
Yep.
Like, when he is in his bag, that step back, it's money. He can get to that spot every time. It's beautiful when he's able to execute that move and create a little space. The rhythm he has, just the flow, his cadence. Like, when Jamal Murray's in his zone, that's a shot where he's taking it. He's setting up for that. You know what's going in.
not having that step back last year in the playoffs, that was really the difference of asking if he was healthy, asking if he's able to score in those same type of ways, because he didn't seem to have that specific shot in his bag that it became a little bit easier for him to be guarded. So with a full season of, off season of getting healthy, getting right, and probably getting that back into his arsenal, I think that opens up the rest of his offense.
On step back shots, he shot 53%, the same number as Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and just 2 effective field goal percentage points lower than Luka Doncic, who is the number 1 guy on this. So efficiency-wise, it's underrated that he's so good at that shot.
And when he's not healthy and the shot isn't there, it can look grueling. It can look like it comes at the expense of a free-flowing offense. But a big reason why they went 16-4 is that there are many times in playoff series and throughout the run where, guess what? The defense knows what you want to do. They're there. Can you hit a tough bucket? And Murray is, what should we call it, 16-foot kind of step back. It's the kind of shot where when Kawhi or Luka hits it, you go, man, you can't guard that. It's true of Jamal too. But when his legs aren't there, it feels like it's a lot of dribbling. It doesn't look good. But okay, go back to the remind him theme. When it's there, you end up with 2 players in a finals game dropping 30-point triple doubles.
The other thing, now we can go to over-under, because I think the big question now is just how many minutes is he going to play? And I'm setting the line at 2,133. Why? That's the exact number of minutes he played in the 2023 championship season.
Okay.
And if you go through his career, rookie season, about 1,750. Sophomore season, 2,560. Then 2,500. Then 1,900, 1,700, 2,133, 1,800. So 3 of the last 4 years, he has not eclipsed the 2,000-minute mark. 2,133 was the championship year. Over or under, Wind?
I'll go over. Buying a little stock in Jamal Murray right now. I'm buying the dip, as some people like to say. Feel like it's time to do that. I think he's going to be smarter about like his body and how he's playing this year. I think the Nuggets are going to be smart too. They'll probably rest him a little bit, but I just am going to go on the side if he's going to be healthier than he was last year. And if he is healthier, he's going to play more.
I'm going to go over as well. But I think it's because it's going to be like a personal goal of his to play as many minutes as possible. And also answer that question of like through the whole season, for the regular season, and taking the regular season a little bit more serious. I do, again, agree with Harrison on, I do think they're going to be smarter about resting them at times and then resting them in those moments. But I do think that he is going to play as much as he can and try to be available for every night, especially with those questions, last year.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's tough about this conversation is it's not necessarily just sitting them out of games. Now, one thing Denver hasn't been able to do as well as teams that win as much as they do is blow teams out. And that's when you're like, okay, sit the full fourth against the Wizards or whatever, right? And Denver hasn't managed to kind of like earn that built-in rest the way you'd kind of think they would or should, given how good they are, but they haven't always done that. And so hopefully it's not so much, okay, Murray sits out games. It's just like, okay, you guys played so well, he can kind of sit more in the second half against bad teams. I like Dev's point. I'm going to buy that Murray feels like he has something to prove, and we see it manifest this way.
I'm going to go under, yet I'm still buying what you guys are buying. And I love your point, Dev. I think to me it's the most convincing one, that maybe he comes in with a point to prove, and that games played, minutes played is one of the points. But look, he has only done this one time in the last 5 years.
Good counter.
6 seasons. And more importantly, I also agree with Harrison's point that I think the Nuggets are going to load manage him. There's a difference between missed games to injury and load management. I think they load manage him, and I would guess he gets around 2,000 minutes, maybe 2,100. But to go over 2,133, I just think there'll be enough load management built in there.
All right, good counter.
Guys, why don't we welcome in D-Line into this conversation and go a little online with D-Line.
Go inside the internet, no telling how strange it will get. We'll look at memes and we'll look at GIFs. Everyone will try to riff. It's online with D-Line today. Wow. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? The internet. It's the only place I ever want to be. It's the only place I am most days, I'll be honest with you. And while I've been searching on the internet, checking out what's going online these days, I have come across a few interesting things about our most beloved Nuggets players. First off, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray debuting potentially a new style this year, maybe an off-season. Kale, push play. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Jamal Murray went a pretty serious undertaking here. He got the braids, the twists. I can't tell exactly what's going on, but the result, new year, new Murray. Look at it. I mean, I don't know that I've heard great reviews, but I do appreciate this woman's great work. You know, I mean, like, does it? If you're asking me if this is my favorite look that Jamal has ever debuted, it is not. This is not my favorite view. But listen, I want Jamal to be Jamal. So if this makes him feel good, I'm all for it. Kel, what else was going on online these days as it pertains to Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray has unveiled New Balance sneakers, some New Balance sneakers for the new season. They're kind of cool. They kind of remind me of the old Dikembe Mutombo Adidas joints from back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, if anyone remembers. They're kind of cool. I might pick up a pair. I probably won't pick up a pair. I can't pull this off. But Jamal, good on you. I love it. Our beloved Prince is getting more and more respect around the marketing world. And what could be more important than that? I'll tell you what's more important than that, Kale. It is time to figure out the most important part of the upcoming season. And that, of course, is the emoji of the upcoming year as decided by me, D-Line. We're going to use this to frame every conversation about Jamal and any other players moving forward. Not a lot to say. Kale, what is the emoji of the season for Jamal Murray? That's right. It's the fingers crossed emoji. It's fingers crossed emoji. Jamal Murray is so important to the Denver Nuggets. He's the stir that stirs, or the straw that stirs the peanut butter and jelly. We can't go anywhere without Jamal Murray. But we're in a bit of a cross our fingers and hope that everything we saw over the summer was a complete aberration, not only for the Nuggets, but also for the national team for Canada. All the practices we've seen. Basically, anytime we've seen any basketball happen, we think that, does it matter? I don't think it matters. Cross my fingers. Oh my God, Kale, get us out of here.
A lot of stuff going online.
Weird stuff happening online.
A lot of stuff happening.
All right, guys, let's close out this preview by making some bold predictions. Let's get bold. Vote, start us off.
Okay, well, I think that the key to us seeing what we wanted to see there from Jamal, as we just outlined, is a strong start. We have yet to see Jamal Murray really hit the ground running. Jamal Murray,
this is
injection
bold.
of vibes right here if this happens.
Jamal Murray did go training with some MMA friends, did not show up to training camp with an injured hamstring. That matters. How about a career high points per game average out of the gate? We'll go October and November for Jamal Murray.
It's a low bar, to be honest with you.
It's a low bar. But let's say career high points per game. Let's say it's over 20 points per game in these opening months. Jamal Murray hits the ground running, and Michael Malone gets his hot start that he's called for.
He did average 20 last year in October, for whatever it's worth, only 4 games, but then that dropped down to 12 in the month of November.
So let's call it November.
Hot November.
Hot
Let's call it
November.
November. A hot November from
November.
Jamal Murray, career high in points per game.
Dev, get bold.
It's going to be to piggyback off of what Vogt just said. I do think that he's going to have a monster October and November because of that hot start. I think that he's going to set a career high in points per game and assists per game this year. I think that this
Last year was a career high 6.5, so and
That's
a career
bold.
high points, to be honest.
That
with
is
tie.
both of them. I think that he ups both of them and has a good year. And it starts with that November. I don't think he's going to have that same type of November. I do think that he's going to take the regular season more serious. I think he is going to answer and quiet a lot of those critics. So I think that this is a big year for him, and it goes with those points per game and assists, which opens up the offense.
Win?
You know, there was a Nuggets analyst last year who famously predicted that it was going to be the year of Jamal Murray.
What an idiot.
People are still talking about it.
Yeah. Kind of was in a way.
Well, I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down, and this is the year
Really?
that Jamal Murray makes an all-star team. People forget that last year in the regular season, he had statistically the best season of his career.
People do forget.
People forget this.
People forget Murray was a bucket.
I think he's got extra motivation this year, like Dev said. He is trying to remind him of who Jamal Murray is. And look, it's going to be very tough to make it in the West just from the guard spot. I know that. There's a couple wild card spots open. I think he does have a shot. He's got Russell Westbrook pushing him. I think that's a storyline to follow this year. And look, I just think he takes another step from where he was last regular season. And that can be all-star worthy.
Super bold. I'm not touching that one.
Extremely
Not going there.
bold,
But I
yeah.
hope you're right. I hope you're right. What I will say, though, is I think this is the most efficient season of Jamal
like
Murray's
that.
career. And last year, by the way, he was pretty efficient. If you look at his effective field goal percentage, 55.4%, that's really high. His three-point percentage, 42.5%. So he gets even better than that. Yes, because I think his shape and conditioning will elevate his efficiency at the rim, which is really how you elevate it. And I think his jump shot has sneaky been getting better throughout his career. He's always been a good shooter, but it's getting better. I think it's the most efficient year. I'm more confident of that than I am that the points are necessarily going to go up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's around the same numbers, but better efficiency, which means better player. All right, let us know in the comments, everybody, what you think. Hop down below. Let us know your bold prediction for Jamal Murray and where we went right, where we went wrong, and hit that like button on the way out.